It is DMac SMaK for the 29th of September, a Monday night football game. Oh man, we are fired up. We'll give you your prediction in a second. We'll also hear from Rory and those Euros as the mouthy New Yorkers got it stuck to them. And Warren Schaefer is done with baseball for the year and hopefully done as the manager of the Rockies, and we'll explain in a little bit. Plus, do the CU coaches know what they're doing at all? It's DMac SMaK brought to you by our great friends at Journey Spice. Love Journey Spice. The QR code is easy to get to, easy to use. And right there, save 10% using the code GETSPICY at Amazon.com. That's Get Spicy. No matter what meals that you're using, Journey Spice goes better on it. It does not matter. Everything is better with Journey Spice. Love you, Andon and Rosa. Love you, Journey Spice. Flavor in, plastic out. Comes in singles, 2-packs, 4-packs. It's the best. The best. More on Journey Spice in just a little bit. But let's get to what you've got to consider a critical game for the Broncos. A must-win game for the Broncos. And I don't take must-win literally. I've fought that battle over the years, so now I just call really important games must-win games because it's just easier for everybody.
Snap out of it!
It's Monday Night Football, and yeah, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at the drone shot. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's Monday Night Football with the Bengals coming to town, and you had the Chiefs wallop the Ravens. You had the Raiders lose because they suck. You had the Chargers lose to the Giants. I guess that game's not going to be as easy. Jackson Dart, my goodness. Bo Nix knows he has to get in a good rhythm.
What have been some of the things that have helped you get into and stay into a rhythm?
That's a great question. I think just early game completions, early game, touchdowns, get in a rhythm early in games. It feeds off, the rest of the game. And then, usually those go week to week. You get in a good rhythm. You see things well. And I think that's a little bit of our thing is we're not really catching a rhythm. We're just kind of, hit or miss. And that's, as an offense, it's tough. No matter, if you're trying to run the ball or throw it, you always want to get in a rhythm.
How much hit?
Well, something's got to happen. Despite the Broncos leading the NFL in pass block win rate, 75%, and the Broncos ranking third in pressures allowed, only 22%, Bo Nix is 25th in total QBR at 42 out of 100. Not great. He needs to
snap out of it.
Go-to plays, Sean Payton. What are you going to go to when you need them the most?
I feel like you have a go-to section on your offense yet? Things you can go to when it's not going well? Or
yeah.
Bread and butter?
Yeah. And I think we've evaluated, that's a great question relative to where we are. And so it's important, and I think this sums it up, is to say, hey, this is an identity relative to running and throwing the ball. This is our identity. And I would say we've yet to establish that clearly for anyone watching or ourselves. And so that's us as coaches.
Sean, what kind of conversation?
Yeah, because Bo's just not been good. I mean, that's the main reason. The main reason is because Bo just hasn't been good. That's why
snap out of it.
Come on, Bo. Let's go. Tonight will hinge on one thing and one thing alone, and Bo doesn't even have to be that great. The Bengals are a somewhat putrid team when it comes to turnovers and giveaway takeaway, and the Broncos can take advantage of it, just like the Vikings did against the Bengals.
Well, to finish +2, and not win the game, then there's got to be some other element, and I would say the 10 penalties certainly, we're forcing them to punt, and all of a sudden they got a first down. Well, that's like a turnover. But that has to continue. The ball security and taking it away. When we did that a year ago, it was dramatic, and so we want.
So yeah, giveaway, takeaway, important. The Broncos will get it done. I really do feel when you look at the Bengals, they don't do anything all that great. I mean, like nothing. They don't do anything that great when it comes to defense as well. The Broncos are better than them in both of those categories, offensively and defensively. Losing Joe Burrow is brutal. Marvin Mims has a bit of a banged up hit. Other than that, the Broncos are healthy, and sure, Mims would help, but this isn't make or break if Marvin Mims is going to play. Broncos win this game 31-13. They go to 2-2. They'll have the same record as the Chiefs. The Raiders are 1-3. And then the Chargers are now 3-1. And thank goodness they lost. So they come back to earth a little bit. Sean is better in October than November. So we'll just pretend tonight's October.
That's it. A good question. I've seen those numbers, and so, this can be an early October game if we want it to be, right?
Let's do it. And
Snap out of it.
meanwhile, your Buffaloes lose, and I don't think Coach Prime knows what he's doing. Details on that in a second.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Remember, and save 10% using Get Spicy. It's been scrolling down here the whole time. We love you, Journey Spice. Get with Journey Spice, and you'll be better in your tum-tum. There it is. Journey Spice. Save 10% using Get Spicy. Let's talk about Prime and the Buffs. CSU loses to a pathetic Washington State team, and how Jay Norvell even has a job today is amazing. I don't even know what to say. There's not much to say. Program has taken some significant steps backwards, so there's that. Meanwhile, up in Boulder, listen, the games have been close, at least. It's been close against Georgia Tech. It wasn't really close against Houston. It was close against BYU. But remember when Prime was doing his victory lap about Pat Shermer?
Everybody's talking about Pat tonight. Now, what was that? Where that went? Anybody? All right. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Well, now you listen, when I'm listening to the guys that are the most passionate about this, and this is the DNVR crew, who is like embedded journalists with the CU program. And when I'm hearing them talking about terrible coaching, they're not talking about Prime. They're talking about Pat Shermer. However, you should be talking about Prime. Prime does not know how to use timeouts, and he doesn't know how to manage games. They can't coach the right way. You should have one of two things before the end of half. You should have used a timeout after you ran the ball if you're going to throw the ball on the next play, which they did, and then they ran the ball again. It didn't make any sense. Either take a knee and go to the half, or better, try to score. I mean, you had plenty of time. You had a couple of timeouts, like kind of let's go. But all right, you're getting the ball back. You don't want to have any turnovers. And on that throw right before the half, there was almost a pick six. Then at the end of the game, when you need the most, the guys on TV, the play-by-play guys, Mark Jones and, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. But they were like, call a timeout, call a timeout, call a timeout. Not that you necessarily needed like a ton of time, but you needed time to just think about what you're doing. And sure enough, on the last play of the game, Salter throws an interception because they were rushed and they didn't know what they were doing and they were all over the place. Never mind Salter running backwards to like Denver when he got sacked for 20 yards when it was 3rd and 3. Never mind the fact that on the two first drives of the game, you look fantastic and you take a lead into the fourth quarter. You just don't know how to manage games. And you're the one, Prime, that picked Pat Shermer. You're not managing games well. You're not using your timeouts well. It does appear you have some talented guys and using Draylon Miller as a running back. All right. And kind of a Deebo Samuel quarterback sort of, guy that does everything. Hey, cool. but you just cannot figure out how to manage these games. And that, my friends, is coaching. Prime sums it up.
Opportunities, tremendous amount of opportunities, but nevertheless, we didn't cash in on it. And sometimes it felt like the moment was just too big for some of our athletes. And they got to do something about that. At halftime, we challenge certain positions to go out there and up their game, challenge their opponents. We didn't get that. We got the same thing that we had in the first half. We got to do better as a staff, as a team, and I got to do better. Let's go.
Yeah, Prime loves to talk about like challenging guys, and like I've said before, doing all these TED Talks. It needs some coaching. It needs just better play calling. We never mind about I got to challenge this kid to do that and challenge this person to do that. Yeah, I get it. You're good at challenging people and motivating people. I mean, in terms of that sort of stuff, okay, great. But that's not what these kids need. It's not about being challenged. It's how to actually play. And likely because this is what's being said at this point, it's too late. Those type of things need to happen in the spring and then camp leading up to things. And it just hasn't been done. And it's hard to create that at this point of the season, almost halfway through the season. Prime,
you thought the moment was too big for some of your guys.
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
We can try, but they got to step up. I'm not going to make excuses for them. They got to step up. They got to step up. It's. I don't know what else I can say about it. They're prepared. They're studying film. Same thing that we saw in the scout team, the same plays that they ran tonight. I mean, it was a great scouting output for the staff. We just got to step up. We got to make the plays that were there. We had tremendous opportunities to make the plays. We just didn't.
Yeah, it's too late is the answer to the question. Sorry. I don't know what the rest of the season is going to hold. You really need to pull that one out against BYU, who's starting a freshman quarterback, Bear Brockenmeister Steinenberger, and his brother Tiger. I mean, this was not the same BYU team that beat you in the Alamo Bowl. They're definitely a step down from that, although they are still a top 25 team. I mean, if you can't beat these guys, like, you're just an also-ran. And at 2-3, most likely that's the direction it's going. It's a bummer, man, because we all had bigger hopes and dreams and aspirations for CU. And I still want Prime as the coach. I do. He needs to be better, though. He needs to learn. And I have no idea who's going to teach him how to be a better coach in managing game situations. I don't know. Got me. But that's what needs to happen.
That wasn't a play. That was real. That wasn't a play. That was real.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
That wasn't a play. That was real.
Ryder Cup, embarrassing is the only way to put how the American fans represented themselves in America. Embarrassing. You got to be better than that, New York fans, U.S. fans. I'm not rooting against America in the Ryder Cup, but you came damn close. You came damn close, you idiots in New York, to pushing Americans who love America and want to see America beat Europe in the Ryder Cup to start rooting for Europe and Rory. It was ridiculous, and I don't really know another side to this argument. It was a thrilling day yesterday as Americans made a incredible charge in singles after being destroyed over 4 sessions and 4-ball and foursomes. And this always happens. The Americans tend to be better in singles. They're not great teammates when it comes to golf. They never really have been, but they're incredible individual players. Hovland's withdrawal because of a neck issue, which seemed to be fine when he was like chugging beers later, was one of the more bizarre rules, and it's only happened a couple times in Ryder Cup history. Who knew that if you withdraw, you get half a point. Stupid, dumb, makes no sense. Should be one of two things. One, the full point goes to the other team. They had a player. They're ready to play singles. Hey, you can't step up. Maybe you do something dopey, like the American guy has to tee off to prepare to show he's ready, and your guy doesn't. The other thing, which probably makes more sense, would be that you have two alternates, two declared alternates, so you can't mess around with it like the day of. But no, if there's some sort of injury or somebody gets hit by a bus, and maybe it's just a broken leg, they're not really that hurt, you can put one of the alternates. And I'll do two because maybe there's two guys that get hit by a bus. I don't know. That seems to be the easiest thing. To think that, oh, my neck hurts, and okay, you get half a point. I've never heard of anything so dumb. And like I said, it's only happened a couple times. The other thing is, I heard the morning show talk about this too. 14-14 and it's retained. No. You go to an extra hole. You do something else. A tie goes to the team that won before. Stupid. It's a great event, and it was ruined by dumb rules. Ruined. It wasn't ruined because it was still very exciting. And at the end, Europe won 15-13. So, okay, fine. But once they tied it up there at 14, there's different energies. There's different strategies that happen. You saw Keegan Bradley just say, I screwed up as captain because I didn't set the course up. So his players were quick to defend him about the pairings, whatever. Keegan was like, forget about that. I didn't set the course up right. And it wasn't. It was like a pitch and putt. Those holes were like too easy. Now, listen, I understand you want to see a bunch of birdies and excitement and putts, and the U.S. couldn't make any putts, but that course was ridiculously easy. Ridiculously easy. So Keegan screwed that up as well. Here is Rory talking about the unacceptable nature of the U.S. fan.
I don't think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was, than what was seen out there this week. Golf has the ability to unite people. Golf teaches you very good life lessons. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to play by the rules. It teaches you how to respect people. And, sometimes this week we didn't see that. So, no, this should not be what is acceptable in the Ryder Cup. But, we will be making sure to say to our fans in Ireland in 2027 that, what happened here this week is not acceptable. And it's,
There's no doubt about it. Meanwhile, they get the last laugh.
Go through how satisfying is it to turn around to someone and say, quote, shut the F up, and then stiff it to 2 feet.
Very satisfying.
Congratulations.
It wasn't stiff. It wasn't stiff. I had to put it.
That's Tommy Fleetwood, and he's funny too. And they're, singing on the bus, and they're getting drunk, and there you go. The Ryder Cup. It was exciting. I loved it. I watched like every single second of it. It was awesome. I also kind of sped watched the Rockies as they finished 4-21 in September, which is so terrible. They started the season 4-22. They finished as bad as they started. And once they got their 43rd win, they seemed to not care. They got swept by the Giants. They got swept by the Mariners. And Warren Schaefer should be swept right out of town. But he probably won't be. Here is Warren after the game summing up a miserable season.
It was not a good season, obviously. It was a horrible season. But throughout that, we've learned that we never want to be here again. I think that everybody believes that. And also, I was just extremely thankful for the way that the boys played hard all year. And it makes a manager's job, especially a first-time manager's job, a lot easier when you know you can count on the boys for effort for the whole game, battling and battling and battling and battling, and that's what they did.
Yeah, big deal. Do you want a cookie? This is pro sports. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the changes that have to be made are obvious. Warren Schaefer has to go. Although he was better than Bud Black, he's got to go. He's tied in too close to these players and can't put his foot down the way it needs to be put down when it needs to be put down. Everybody's just a little bit too chummy and too comfortable. Warren Schaefer gone. Sterling Monfort has to go, and so does Bill Schmidt and probably most of the personnel department. And this is really difficult because Walker Monfort, well, first of all, he's Sterling's brother. And Bill Schmidt's been a lifelong friend. It'll be the easiest decision is to move on from Warren Schaefer, and they probably won't do that either. What's a successful season here? You lost 119. What? A 20 game improvement, so you only lose 99 games? So you finish under 100 losses? I mean, that actually would be spectacular, by the way, if they could do that. But their starting pitching is, brutal. I guess McCade Brown and Tanner Gordon and Chase Dolander are your starters. Sensatello, they said, is going to come back out of the bullpen because they owe him $12 million for next year. Okay, pretty funny. Maybe he's good in the bullpen. $12 million. All right, cool. Vodnik and Halverson, I guess, are your closers. But who are your starters? What are we doing here? Marquez is gone, obviously. I don't know about Kyle Freeland. I like Kyle. His story is awesome, and he's got a place in Rockies history for sure, but this guy can't get outs on a regular basis. He's hot and he's not more than he's hot for sure. What are you going to do? You've got to tear this thing down, period, the end. A minus 424 run differential is humiliating, and the fact that you got 2 more wins than the White Sox doesn't really matter. You embarrassed yourself, and you should have embarrassed Rockies fans, except for the fact the stadium is cool. You can bring your dog there, and fireworks are awesome. So I guess we'll just keep showing up as they did to be like 15th in attendance this year. But if you could get it together, you'd be 3rd, 4th, something like that in attendance, way, way up there. And it would be exciting at this time of the year instead of the announcers talking about what vacations they're about to take. And apparently everybody after the season's over likes to drive a lot. I heard that yesterday on the broadcast. Listen, the broadcasters deserve a gold star. You polished that turd for 6 months, and kudos to you. You did a professional job and a great job broadcasting to all of them. It's not your fault that you had to cover such a weak, inept sort of team. And now, Walker Monfort, it's up to you. It's hard, the decisions that you have to make. I do understand that, but you need to do what needs to be done. Finally, your moment of zen is Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime entertainment. I don't know many Bad Bunny songs. I think he's been funny on Saturday Night Live. I think he was, okay in Happy Gilmore too. And now he's doing the Super Bowl. So, hey, good for Bad Bunny. What do I know from nothing? I thought Taylor Swift may be appropriate, but that would probably make everybody puke in their shoe. So, best of luck, Bad Bunny. We'll see you at halftime of the Super Bowl, and we'll see you guys on from noon to 3 with Tyler and Scott today. Kick today in the teeth, and let's go Broncos. Don't forget, the Broncos win 31-13. Take it to the bank.